call to order. Thank you, Josh. I will call to order the special meeting of the Gig Harbor Arts Commission, Friday, June 11th, 2021 at 9:05 a.m. Roll call first, if we could, please. Charlie Glock Jackson, Chair, and I will call your names as I see you on my screen. Dan?
Present.
Lynn?
Here.
Jennifer?
Here.
And Samantha?
Present.
Linda?
Here.
And Robin will join us soon. We also have Mayor Kit Kuhn
Here.
and our wonderful new staff liaison, Josh Stecker.
Here.
Okay, thank you all. First, the purpose of this meeting is to review the text that has been proposed by a volunteer group for the concrete pylons in Tualaca Estuary. But first, the mayor has asked that he have a few minutes to update us on another project. So Mayor Kuhn, if you would, please.
Sure. First thing, just to acknowledge, there is no text yet, correct, Charlie?
As far as I know, I have not received anything.
Okay.
Josh has not received anything, and apparently you have not either.
All right. Just to, just to kind of explain, Lynn knows some of this, Charlie does, but just to explain partially why I'm involved in this is, the pilings is a project with the Art Commission, and it has been since Dawn worked on it, but then again, Dawn left the city, and so it goes on to the Art Commission and gets dealt with when the Art Commission finds the time to do it. So that the pilings really stays with the Art Commission, and it has to be a city controlled. And when I say controlled, I mean it has to be some commission or committee with the function of the city to have it really go. It's not a donation. So that falls in line with the Art Commission being involved with it and spearheading it. That really doesn't have a whole lot to do with me. But what does have to do is about 1.5 years of work that I've done with different ad hoc committees. Part of it was the Park Commission. It was council members, the tribe, and a whole ad hoc committee about educational signs down at Tualaca Estuary. Now, this was a lot of work to get this to go forward, and that's why it's still going to have the name of Austin Park, but it's Tualaca Estuary. So council passed a resolution, and it's resolution 1199. And what that resolution basically, it'd be good for people to know it, but it basically is renaming Austin Estuary Park, designating Tualaca Estuary in honor of the Squababish Band of the Puyallup tribe. And I mean, I had to work with the Austin family and everything up in Seattle. So part of the resolution basically says the mayor is directed to add to future staff work plans to establishment of an honorary historic area along the Gig Harbor waterfront to recognize the ancestral homelands of the Squababish Band for educational and awareness purposes. Establishment of the historic area should be done with consultation of the Puyallup tribe and other entities that support the tribe as appropriate. So, so this is what I've been working on with the tribe, but then it only made sense to, then it kind of developed to where the Art Commission or Linda Pitcher and Dawn wanted to have the pilings have the history on there. And that's fine. My main goal is to get this accomplished, whatever recognition we can do of the tribe before my term is up. I'm not rerunning for mayor. It's taken all the way up until this year to really recognize the tribe at this area. And I am a bit concerned that once I leave office, that there may be a council or a mayor or both that don't care to honor the tribe. and don't follow through with it. And that would be a shame. It really would. And so once it's up, they're not going to be able to take it down. They would be ridiculed across the United States for not equal rights. So again, it's very important to me to get this done before the end of my term, because I really worry that there is a lot of racism in Gig Harbor and other places. And I know even some council members that, or one that adamantly said no to recognizing the Native Americans at that resolution. So there's also a lot of friction between the fishing families and the tribes going way back. So, and the fishing families have a lot of recognition already and a lot of influence. So again, it's very important to me to get some of this established. Now, if this ends up being on the pilings, great. If it ends up not being on the pilings, then that's fine. I have figured out, I've walked the area with Katrina, who works with planning, and with Jeff. So I figured out that we don't need any permits. Permits can take a long time. So the areas that I've looked at to change some of the signs don't need permits. I also want to mention that the pilings don't need permits either. Now, to just bring full, just for complete transparency, I haven't had time to check a couple of these pilings. There's a chance that a couple of these pilings are on History Museum property, or they're in the right of way. And so I know that Stephanie Lau has wanted to see what the wording is. One tricky thing is when you get more and more groups, then it becomes more and more complicated. And for instance, someone wanted maybe the signs to be in Braille or other languages. I mean, then it's going to be 3 to 5 years, or it's going to be a lot longer. And I will go on with my project that was already passed by council to get this done, because council gave us the authority to work with the tribe, but that's not to make it so complicated that it takes years and years more. We can always add something later on. You can always add a barcode later on if you want, but the goal is to get something up there that's appropriate. Linda, and as many of you know, Linda and Don came up with this wording with the tribe, and they never came to the city with a contract. They basically developed this all on their own without really city approval, and never came to us with a contract. That's basically how you do it first. And then we've asked them 3 times for the information. I know I did send a email last night to Linda and Dawn that they won't like, but it's basically telling them that they're purposely not turning it over. They're trying to rewrite some of the history and corrections that the tribe wanted. The tribe did edits and they were not incorporated in it. They were trying to make their own edits. And I have a problem with that. I think that if the tribe has edits, the Art Commission should be allowed to see those edits, because it's not right for 2 people to decide what are those edits they want and change those edits what they feel are appropriate, and not even have the Art Commission be able to weigh in on what that looks like. I don't think that's right. And Lynn had even sent an email to Dawn, okay, are you gonna, we need to do a bidding process and get bids. So please don't go out to bid. And we found out the last couple of days that Dawn had no intention of doing that. That she said, she acknowledged she did not answer Lynn's email, and that she wants to bring the plaques already done. And that I've checked with 3 departments. That's not how it works at the city. You have to let the Art Commission, accept if they want to accept it, be able to weigh in on it, and then they go out to bids. If the city's paying for it, someone else can't just give the city a bill. That's not done that way. And they never offered this as a donation. And they've asked to get paid at certain points. So there's been a lot of friction, and I actually knew this was going to happen, and that's why I tried to just involve the art commission. But so they wanted us to cancel the meeting again today and not give it to us till next week. And I don't think they ever have a plan to give it to us. So I actually told Linda and Dawn that we will work with the tribe. The art commission will work with the tribe to come up with the history, because they're trying to say, well, we own this product. Well, they may own the written part, but they don't own the history. No one owns the history. And I have problems with people telling the tribe how they feel. And I actually told them I thought that they're suppressing other people. And that gets back to equal rights. No one has a right to do that. So it's, I've had it, I've had it with them trying to control this whole thing, and they're not working as a team. And so I think that if it's going to be, and I'm not sure if we should put it on the pilings that if these two pilings are the museum's property, I don't know if we should even put them there, because having a whole nother group weigh in on it. If the museum wants to bless it, that's great. If they want to change it, then it gets more complicated all over again. So if the museum is supportive of how it's written, that's great. If they're not, then I think we put it on the pilings that are not questionable if they're on city property, if they're on city or museum property. So anyway, there are some other signs I'm working on that are outside of this group. Again, I've had the authority with council to work with entities that support the tribe. And that's why it's very, very specific in the wording, entities that support the tribe, meaning not people that might want to disrupt the whole thing. So I've ordered a new sign that's going to say Austin Park at Tualacut Estuary. And then it says Swiftwater People. And that's just replacing the sign at the entrance to the park. There are some signs there that are not accurate. It says Austin Estuary, and we're replacing that sign. We're still acknowledging the Austin family, and we're going to have a plaque talking about it. We're going to have a voice box right after as you enter the park. There's a post there, and that post is going to have 4 buttons. And if you push the button, it's going to have, I'm working with the tribe that their language department will actually have a Native American speak for 30 seconds or so that say, this is the Squababish people. And anyway, and they're going to be able to say that word 3 times or so people can learn the pronunciation, because the tribe doesn't want us to put our English translation of what the word means in our own translation, which we understand. So we're going to have them speak their own language and be able to, like 2 or 3 times, and they'll tell a brief history for like 30 seconds. And there'll be 4 of these buttons so they can talk about the village there. And this will be a solar paneled or solar powered voice box. And I haven't told Lynn this yet, but I'm working with a company that makes these speakers for like national parks, and you can pay them a bunch of money per hour to do the graphic design, and it's just a little graphic design, or you can pay someone else. And so I want to see if Lynn wants to just do this really short little panel. It's going to have the 4 buttons there and a voice box there. So it's just the example they show is just blue, but we could design a little panel with what the Native Americans want, and Linton can do it, and then we'll send it, and we're going to pay money for them to maintain it every single year. So there's a lot of cool things. There's more history that we're working with the tribe that to me is just good feeling. It's not telling the history of wars. It's telling what it's like in the day of a life of a Native American, and what did they do to gather food, or whatever they want to do. And that's going to just be, educational knowledge about the life of the Squababish people. And that will be as you're going under the bridge of the roadway. And we've already established that. And then we're just going to do a little more history of the mill work in Donkey Park for the lumber industry. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. And the good thing is the tribe is making sure that there's not going to be duplication. because they're involved in each step of it. I do have some updates on the honorary project too, but that's as close to a nutshell as I can give you to bring you all up to speed. You know, I've talked to Lynn many times. If Linda and Dawn had wanted to turn over the work, it would have been great. It's already done. We would have liked that. The tribe was supportive of that. But to want to have, not to turn over the text and want to have us just bless them on building these panels somewhere else and having the art commission pay for it, that's not how we operate at the city. I've talked to 3 departments. It's not, you can't do it that way. So questions on any of this? And I'd like to hear from Jennifer, but again, the goal is probably, you know, I was hoping that my email last night to Dawn and Linda said at the very end, it said, we can't work with you two under these terms. So I actually left the door open for a moment. If they change their terms, meaning if they said, okay, sorry, here, we're giving you the text, but they didn't do that. So history is there. A lot of what Linda gathered was history from the tribes, and no one owns it. And sure, it's a little bit more work for the tribe and the art commission, but I know that the art commission wanted to have some say and some ownership in this too. So any questions?
I've got comments, but I'd like to hear from Jennifer.
And Jennifer Keating from the Puyallup tribe has joined our meeting. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Can you hear me okay?
Mostly.
You're kind of breaking up, but we can sort of hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me see if I turn off my video. Okay, that might. Good morning. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here. I know my partner at the tribe, Charlotte Bash, would have liked to have been here too. However, as the mayor and Charlie know, what started out as a very good, positive, a good project has gone sideways and has become very negative, and it's very, very unfortunate. But I'm confident that we can still move forward in a good way. Lita Dawn actually reached out to me. She called yesterday afternoon to apologize for Linda. They are still willing. I don't think there's been any communication with them beyond the email. But according to Lita Dawn, they're very much still willing and want to move forward with the information that Linda has put together in collaboration with the tribe. We're down to our final edits. So I did talk to Charlotte as well. Charlotte does not want to redo these. So much time and energy has already gone into these panels that it would be an absolute shame to start over at this point. Yeah, after talking to Lita Dawn, she says by Tuesday that the draft will be ready to go. I don't know. At this point, it's really up to the Arts Commission as far as how you all, I've never had, completely honest. We normally have one point of contact, and then I'm the one point of contact on the tribe side, and we just get it done. So this is very new for us. And I also apologize if we've been working with the incorrect entity or individual. Again, this has been a unique experience that we're very much so learning from. Had ownership issue that's now came up. I've never experienced that as well. At the tribe, we're taught that we don't own our ownership. Our job is simply to teach it. Our history, I apologize. We don't own the history. Our job is to advocate for it, to honor it, recognize it, and teach it to the community. So to work with individuals that feel they own it is a very new and disappointing experience.
Any further discussion? Lynn, do you have comments now?
Yeah, sure. I feel like we have an issue with some lack of boundaries being drawn as to where people's people belong in this process. So Samantha and I are on the subcommittee for the historic marker project. We found out that there was a volunteer group in the community working with the tribe who has a potential project to present to us. And they're in the process of developing it. So we got just enough information to know what was going on, to know that they needed time, to know that this project ticks all the boxes with the resolution 1199, with the mayor's goals of having things completed within 6 months, with honoring the tribe, with making sure the voice of the tribe is accurate. But that project, as we know it, is not complete. It's not ready for presentation. So we've sort of, Samantha and I, would like to give them their space to work out the details before they present a formal proposal to the Arts Commission. I don't know why there's this insistence that a volunteer group should give us text that we don't own. It is not our domain. None of this is available for our discussion until it's formally presented to the Arts Commission for discussion. So I'm completely baffled as to why there are demands being put on an external group to expedite their process so that we can satisfy some deadline that we might have. Because if they don't meet, if their process takes too long and we decide as a commission that we would like to go in another direction, then we can do that and we can discuss that. But Samantha and I were not involved or invited to any meetings that Charlie and the mayor had with this volunteer group. And I don't think I would have wanted to insert myself into that, because I would like, it's not my place to tell an external group how they should design their proposal. So I feel like the process has gotten really blurred here. I feel like I've been left out of it as someone who is part of the subcommittee. And I'd really like an explanation as to why we were putting demands on an external group to give us text that we don't own. And as far as, let's say, ownership, as an arts commission, I'd like to say that we defend the rights of artists, the artists who create sculptures and paintings, the artists who dance, and the artists who write and do the research. And as such, just because Linda's work is in the form of writing doesn't mean that it's not valuable and that she doesn't own it. It's her craft, and it's been in collaboration with other people. But she is the author of that. And as an author, she deserves to claim some ownership of that. So I would like some clarity around what's going on with this project and why Samantha and I, as the sort of leads on this project, had no idea really what was going on. And I would just like us to reset what's happening here and reclaim the process, or have someone else take it over, or tell us what's going on.
So a question, I think where it got kind of a little bit sidetracked is finding out that they only want to turn it over when they turn over the panels. So I think what happened is a lot of people, including yourself, were under the indication that we were going to be given text and the Art Commission was going to be able to decide if they approve of the project with text. And Dawn has actually made it very clear that that's like giving her terminology is that's like giving art halfway done. That we don't want it. We want to. we're only going to do it when if we commission the panels with the artist and you okay us to have an artist finish the panels completely. And that's what we're presenting to you, not just the text, but the panels already done by an artist. They've made that very clear to Charlie and I and Jennifer and the whole group that basically, no, you're only getting that, we're only doing this if we give you, if you bless the whole thing done with the panels with an artist that we choose. And even you've said that that's not the art commission usually gets 2 or 3 bids on a project. And if the city is going to pay for it, checking with many different departments here, that's not how the city operates. So that's where the problem is, Lynn. So what do you say to that?
Okay, again, Samantha and I have been supposedly the liaisons with the external community, volunteer project. So that was never my understanding that Linda and Don were going to deliver panels and say, this is what we're going to, yes, they are composing an entire project with whatever that includes. They can include whatever they want to propose to us. The look and design, fabrication, estimates, they're free to propose whatever they want, but I'd like you to give the Arts Commission some credit for being able to take the control that we know that we have. There's no way I would expect a volunteer group to show up in the park and start installing signs, and we're just going to write a check for it. That's just not going to happen. So there was nothing about our interaction with Dawn, Linda, Jennifer, Charlotte that indicated they were trying to leapfrog over any kind of Arts Commission authority. They were trying to involve us. And we realized as the lines were getting blurred, we need to back off and let them finish their proposal. They need to complete it in whatever form. Once they formally present it to the Arts Commission, only then is it available for us to start dissecting it, asking questions about it. If they came to us with finished panels, we could say, no, that is not how this process works. So whatever their intentions were, it doesn't really matter what intentions are. That's just hearsay. Nothing has happened yet. I'm completely confused as to why we as a commission would put any pressure on an external group to say, you need to give us this. And it certainly isn't a good idea to get text in an unfinished state. I know that from my career. This is way too important a project to rush the group who is putting it together, who, by the way, if we wanted to do it on our own, would probably take us the next several years of trying to establish relationships with the tribe. So I have every confidence that this is a wonderful project. Once we bring it back in its entire state to the Arts Commission to review, I'm confident that it, like I said, ticks all the boxes. But I'm not interested in presenting putting anything on the table before it's fully formed for us to have an educated discussion about it.
If I may jump in here, one of the reasons that the mayor is involved in this project at all is because when I agreed that we would coordinate the text that was proposed for the pilings with the text that he's having written and installed on the new signage for Austin Park. We wanted to make sure that there was no contradictory information between what his project is saying and what the Arts Commission project is saying. So we've been trying to work together to make sure that if there's duplication, it's accurate. There's no conflict or contradictions. And So that is how the mayor has become involved in this project, and we sort of peripherally in his project. We were told, we, the mayor and I, and Jennifer and Charlotte from the tribe were told at a Zoom meeting on Monday that the final, to do the final edits that the tribe wanted on the proposed text for the pylons. We were given the assurance that that text would be delivered to the tribe by Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest, so that it could be then given to the Arts Commission for us to review at this meeting. We were given that assurance from Dawn and Linda. And whether the finished text, finished meaning edits that the tribe had requested were made, and the tribe had had a chance to review it one final time and say, yes, this is the wording that we want on it. Then the tribe would present it to us. Here's the copy that we have worked very hard to do. And this text meets tribal approval. That was supposed to happen Wednesday of this week at the latest. Which is why we're having this meeting today, because our intent was to be able to review that text at this meeting with the knowledge that the tribe had given it their blessing, and for us to be able to then have a conversation with the tribe to answer any questions that we might have, and just give our approval to the tribe that we're okay to move forward with this project. If these words meet with what the tribe's interpretation of their history is, our position as the Arts Commission, because we're paying for the whole thing, we're paying for the fabrication and installation of the signage, we can move forward. That's the process that was agreed to with the tribe in a Zoom meeting on Monday. And we wouldn't be having this meeting today if we had known that there wasn't going to be anything to meet on.
So can I just again clarify process, because I don't understand why we even have a subcommittee for this pylon project. If you, Charlie, are hosting all the meetings about this project or being the representative, Lynn and I didn't know there was a meeting on Monday.
There you go.
We didn't know this special meeting was going to happen. All of this happened, all of these conversations, which are appropriate conversations, and of course the mayor should be involved. But why did you as chair step in and not inform the subcommittee of what was happening and or allocate one of us to attend that meeting? It is
I'm
confusing now, and also feels like there's no point for a subcommittee.
I understand that. That's a fair and valid question, Samantha. Thank you. I was asked by the tribe to join that meeting. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
You know, one thing I might add to, just to understand where this started. So when the council passed resolution 1199, I was working with the tribe. And I asked Linda to be involved in that. And now that I knew nothing about the pylon project. So resolution 1199 was to do educational purposes of signage at the estuary park, estuary area, with working with the tribe. So Linda knew a lot of information about it. So I actually asked Linda and the tribe to work on this. So that was going on like a year ago. That was going on before there was even a subcommittee of the pylons. And I did not ask Dawn to be a part of that group. And Dawn got offended. So Dawn approached the tribe on her own and said, I want to get involved. And then her and Linda started formulating all the history. So they basically jumped in, and then a subcommittee of the pylons was formed saying, and then Linda and Dawn said, let's put all this history on the pylons. Well, the pylons was an ownership of the art commit, well, I don't want to say ownership, the pylons were part of a goal of the art commission. So then the art commission was involved. So really, I was working with the tribe and Linda just to get, mostly the tribe, to get educational signs. And then other individual people wanted to jump in and just took over writing all this stuff without asking, the city, can we have a contract for this, or can we do this? They just jumped in and said, well, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to present it to the art commission. And then the art commission needed a sub panel. So that's one reason why I'm involved, is it got taken out. I thought I was finally done going through the council, an ad hoc committee, the art commission. And then I got individuals that wanted to say, well, wait, we're going to do what we want. We're going to work with the tribe on our own. And we're going to do it this way and present it. And it's going to be a piling project. So it changed from what I had no intention of putting anything on those stone pylons. In fact, I actually still have a problem with it because it's non-native made pylons. So the tribe has okayed that. And I also have troubles with someone else writing the whole history of the tribe. Now, luckily, the tribe is supportive of that. So anyway, that gives you some point of reference that I was working on this with the tribe before any of these other groups got involved.
I totally appreciate that. And that makes absolute sense. My question is how meetings happened this week without Lynn or I knowing about them, and Charlie knowing we were subcommittee did not inform us nor delegate that to us. I just don't understand that. And I don't understand why we have a subcommittee.
Right. Well, one thing that happened was the tribe was making edits with Linda and Dawn and on their own. And I know Lynn has made, her point that she feels that's fine, and that's great. But the tribe was making edits with Linda and Dawn, and there was no involvement by anyone from the city, and this is going to be on city property. And I thought, and those edits were taking so long that they seemed to be rewritten in different ways than the tribe wanted. The tribe's edits were not getting really included. So I thought it was important for someone of the city to at least be able to be at that meeting and hear what those edits are. And because, and Charlie felt the need of wanting to see what those edits were too, before something might be changed in history.
So
I'm sorry, I have a couple of comments. My first question is, as an arts commissioner, I like Samantha, we kind of came late to this process. I think it's been underway for quite some time, but when we talked about the project at Stinson, the new roundabout, part of that process is we put out a request for proposals before we allocate the city money to an artist to do their project. Was there ever a request for proposals put out before this started? It sounds like there wasn't, but I just want to clarify.
There was not, no.
Because I feel like maybe some of this could have been avoided if there was a process established at the beginning and we knew the direction that we were going in. And my second is more of a comment as a staff member at the Harbor History Museum. Part of our interest in just being aware of what's going on is the fact that we are the history museum in town, and this property wraps around ours, even though the plaques will be on the pylons on city property. People are going to assume that we have something to contribute, in the sense that if they come into the museum, they read the plaques, they have questions, they want to learn more information, they're going to assume that maybe we have something to add to that when they come in, because it's wrapping around our property. So a tourist might not necessarily know that these are two different entities. They're going to interpret it more holistically. And so really, from that perspective, is really why the museum just would like to be included in conversations on this, just so we are able to be well informed of the history that's being put out right around our property.
That makes sense.
And I think that's very important. And Stephanie and I have had conversations about that very topic. My primary concern is that this is the tribal history. I'll be real frank that I have some problems with white people trying to write history of the Native Americans, which is why, to me, it's been so critical that the tribe be involved in this process every step of the way. And I think that this is because they are surrounding, as Jennifer has said, kind of surrounding the museum. I think that it is an opportunity for some reinforcement from the tribe of their own history in the context of what's inside the museum. And so I am pretty much committed to following the tribe's lead on this, on anything that has to do with their original settlement of what we call Gig Harbor. We are the invasive species, and I am committed to following the tribe's lead.
I just want to say, Mayor, I'm actually less concerned about what, your role is. You're the mayor, and I understand your involvement in that, and that's your business. I'm more concerned about the Arts Commission and where our responsibilities lie and where our boundaries lie. And we are sitting here talking about this project as if it's actively on the table, and I don't consider that it is. The project of the external volunteer group has not been formally proposed to us. It is not our project to discuss the details of it. When it is presented to us in its entirety, that's when we talk about the museum's involvement and does this overlap with what the mayor's signage is trying to do. That's when we can start dissecting it and say, how can we take this? Are we going to accept it? Do we want to do this? Maybe we want to do something entirely different. Or how do we want to talk about making it better, or whatever those conversations are. But right now, talking about what we want to do with the text that we don't have is premature. So I'm just talking about the Arts Commission knowing where its responsibilities lie and where they do not. So I just feel like I don't understand why we're talking about something that isn't even our project. What I mean is, what this external volunteer group is doing with the tribe, with the consent of the tribal council itself, is their business until they present it to us in such a way that it becomes our business.
The only thing I can respond to that with, Lynn, is that the mayor has been working with the tribe, and I was personally invited by the tribe to join this conversation. I felt it was my responsibility as the chair of the Arts Commission to respond, since I had been directly, personally invited, that I should attend. So I'm kind of hearing that there is a suggestion among the Arts Commission that we hold off on any further discussion of this until such time as the volunteer group is ready to present that text to us. And then we start reviewing it. Am I correct in that?
I would say either that or until the tribe presents something to us. We don't actually have anything to discuss right now. And also, that is one thing that we need to discuss. But like this other thing is this subcommittee. Like, Charlie, if you've been invited and if you are now the liaison with the tribe, then like, are you now the subcommittee? That needs to be resolved, because I don't want to be spinning wheels and having meetings with Lynn to prep for city council meetings when we're not given an opportunity to either provide our report and then our report is like out of date and like off sync because we weren't informed or involved in any meetings. So those are the two things that I don't even think we should discuss this project because there's nothing to physically discuss right now. But I want clarity moving forward because it's a freaking waste of time.
Good point. Well, I'm happy to take the complication is that, as Jennifer Keating was saying, the tribe is used to working with one person. And they asked me to, or they suggested that I be the person that they would prefer to work with as chair of the Arts Commission, along with the mayor who represents the city. So that's the reason for my involvement.
Again, I think that people need to be educated as to how this process is going to work more clearly. If I was invited to attend a tribal meeting or whatever, I think I might be inclined to say that is just going to confuse matters. This volunteer group of Dawn, Linda, Jennifer, Charlotte, Brandon, whoever, other tribal members, that's their group. As soon as we start in getting involved, it's blurring the lines between who's what. Like, that is their business. I don't agree with her.
Well, a little problem with that is it was actually the tribe, Linda and I. And then Dawn didn't like that. So she pushed her way in. And because the tribe was so kind, the tribe said, okay, I guess we're working with those two.
Okay, again,
then there was no city involvement.
That's not an Arts Commission issue.
That's fine. But
Those dynamics need to be worked out within that group, which is why the lines have gotten so blurred.
Yep.
The dynamics between you and Dawn and who's writing what and who's editing what and the tribal requirements, that's their business. That is not for me or any of us as an arts commissioners to figure out, inject our opinions into. They need to figure out the dynamics, all of the parameters of their presentation, because that's why this thing's been so confusing. There's too many people crossing the lines and getting their opinions and invited to meetings and not invited to meetings and adding their opinion to emails and then not be included in their responses, because I said these things in an email and never heard from anybody. So, that's their business.
Right. Well,
I'm really not interested in confusing things more by discussing it until that group, that volunteer group, whoever's involved in it, whoever they decide to work with and whatever, till they sort it all out and give us an organized, formal, complete, concise presentation. Then it becomes part of our domain.
Can I back up again, back to the request for proposals? So if I understand correctly, money has been budgeted year after year for the Arts Commission to do something with those pylons within the Arts Commission's normal authority. So with my 1 year involvement, it seems like if we have other things where we're supposed to find somebody to do something with a piece of property that's the city's, we put out a request for proposals. So it would seem to me that a lot of this untangling could be done if a request for proposals on how we want to historically interpret these pylons. And if that goes out to the art community at large, and then the tribe could submit something or other entities could have an opportunity to submit something. But right now it sounds like a lot of things have just happened where this one group has chosen to use these pylons and it's been their project and it's a great idea and money has been allocated, but nothing has been put out to the greater community, including the tribe, to invite them to be the one to create it. Am I understanding that correctly? And would that perhaps untangle things if we put out a request for proposals?
So because Samantha and I are the subcommittee, we discussed that. And this is such a unique case. This is such a unique situation where we have these pylons, we have a combined effort with the mayor and the city council and the community wanting to honor the tribe. We have the honoring symbol that will be installed sometime soon. We have the renaming of the park. And we have these pylons that just work so nicely into creating a cultural center down there around the history museum and everything. So, and to discover that a group has been working with the tribe and is so deep into a beautiful expression for these pylons, it didn't seem necessary. So our job isn't always just to put out a call for art because there's money for it, because there's a project. Our job is to discuss options, to find options, to bring it back to the entire commission and to discuss that. We've just started this project. So like I said, this particular community group is putting together a proposal that is so well done, is so impressive, that and the mayor is involved in it. It just felt like, let's not complicate that process until we can discuss this one proposal with the Arts Commission at the appropriate time. So yeah, a call for art opens up a whole other can of worms that didn't necessarily seem necessary at this time.
Well,
I
thank
do
you.
have to go. I look forward to notes and feedback from this continued discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. I think I'm hearing that the Arts Commission would like to hold off on further discussion of this until we have a chance to see the proposed text. I want the tribe to be involved in that because it's their history. And my preference would be for the tribe, because it's their history, to present that text to us.
But the tribe isn't acting alone here. So, the tribe is part of a group. There's a team working on this. And we keep discussing this as if it's text. Their project isn't just text. They have a vision. So I believe they would, unless that changed in your meeting, I believe they like to present their vision for how the text could look on the pylons. So it's not just words on paper I don't think that's what they're presenting. But we're also not just talking about the tribe. We have members of our community who are also deeply involved in working with the tribe. They, in fact, are our liaison to the tribe. So, as far as I know, this isn't just someone handing us text, and they need to work out how that text is acquired, edited, approved, and paid for. So, and then they can present to us whatever they want. If it's text, if it's a vision, if it's the whole shebang, it doesn't matter to me. Then we can start to decide if we want to use parts of it, or if we even have the option to use parts of it, or if we as an entire commission want to explore other things we can do on these pylons, because that's the real project for us is, what do we want to do on these pylons? This is one option.
So I think we need to schedule another meeting of the Arts Commission that will include the presentation of this text with, I guess, proposed layout that will also include the tribe. So then we have to figure out when we're going to do that. And we have a lot of schedules to coordinate. We have 7 arts commissioners, Josh, the mayor, and tribal representatives.
But I think, why am I confused about this? The volunteer group needs to figure out their schedule, right? They need to figure this out. We have meetings on our schedule. If they want to present it in July, or if they want to try to call a special meeting, like is it up to us to say, oh, well, we're going to schedule another special meeting a week from now and you better have something or not? So
I think, as I understand it, they've given us a couple of dates that they would be available, but I'm fine with
We didn't
waiting.
know that. We didn't.
I believe it's in a memo that, well, maybe you didn't get that.
Linda just threw that out yesterday. So, you know, we thought we would see the text today. And then later yesterday, Linda said, no, I can't, I don't want that. How about the 12th? So, I mean, that's brand new. No one knew that up until yesterday. She just threw another date out there. Again, I don't know where, if they want to present the text, or if they want to say, well, we're gonna do a call for artists ourselves, and our proposal is going to be for this one artist to create these plaques, and it's the whole meal deal. That's it. That's kind of what they've told us. So, and I don't think, I mean, I've checked with many departments. That's not how the city operates with calling to artists. But as you know, we can go back. I think Linda and Dawn should present it with the tribe, because it is part of their work, as Lynn mentioned. And I think that's the only way to get through this. If it ends up being that way, I really don't know if this is a delay tactic or to an inevitable date that's who knows where. So at one point, as Lynn pointed out, we may not know what we're going to do with the pylons. So there is a point at one, you know, I've been authorized to work with the tribe. So at one point I'm going to say, I don't know what you're doing with the pylons, but I'm going on with the tribe with the history. And because I'm not going to wait 5 months for, you know, I mean, this pylon project has been with the Art Commission for many, many years. So I'm not going to wait many, many years. I don't have that. I can't do things after I'm mayor and just step in and say, well, I started this, I want to finish it. That's not how cities operate. So I'll be patient for a little bit, but if it's going to be sit on for a long time, then you can do whatever you want with the pylons, and I'll do what has already been passed in a resolution. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks with trying to have Linda, Dawn, and the tribe, and myself see if you know, if they're really going to present it, because I have my doubts of what, when I asked them, are you going to turn this work over to us or not? They would not re-answer that question. And then they just told us that we have an artist that's going to create these panels if the Art Commission chooses to go that way. I don't think that's legal with our attorney. So, and it's not how consistency is important. So as Jennifer said, if you typically do a bid process and then you want to just go do something different, you're opening up yourself up for future times when everyone's going to say, well, you did it this way, that one, so let's do it again that way, this way. So we'll see what evolves.
I would suggest that we put this review of the text for the pylon project on our, make it the #1 agenda item on our July Arts Commission meeting on July 14th. Does that meet with everyone's approval?
I would just clarify, this isn't just about reviewing text or having them turn over text. This is whatever that group wants to propose to us, which I am under the impression isn't just text. So it would be putting on the agenda a presentation from the volunteer group to present their proposal, formally present their proposal to us, which includes text.
Okay, would then we as the Arts Commission make a focus of our meeting reviewing that proposal? Or is it just simply the presentation?
Topic. It's just a topic for the agenda, right?
How do you envision it, Lynn?
I guess if there's nothing else on the agenda, it could dominate the meeting for sure. We could start the discussion.
So does everybody, is there agreement that that will be our, on our July 14th Arts Commission agenda? A presentation from the volunteer group and the tribe?
Again, that feels like us dictating when they should show us. I mean, we can, I guess, encourage them to have something by that date, but I don't like us putting pressure on a group to, you know, I guess we can say whatever we want to say. Hey, this is the date we would like to review that. If it's not ready, then we have got to move on for our own, you know, because of our own deadlines. So it has to be comfortable with their group that they have all their ducks in a row.
So we should invite them to make a presentation to us on the meeting July 14th.
I would say it's appropriate to invite them, but I don't think that we should let them drive it in the sense that we start calling special meetings because, you know, we've had a lot of special meetings and it's really kind of cutting into work time.
Very true.
And so they know when our meetings are, and we have to have our own deadlines of, I guess, how we're going to use this money for the pylons, whether it's with them or something else. But since we don't have something else because there's no RFP, I'm not entirely sure. Like, I mean, a presentation would be lovely, but I don't know to what end. But I don't think we should be calling special meetings for it.
That's a very good point, Jennifer. Thank you. So let's,
I understand Lynn's thing of not putting pressure on the tribe and having them come to their date. But I also, I've also been given the task of working with the tribe. So if a couple individuals decide that, you know, they want to wait months and months and months to do this, I don't have to do that. I can work with the tribe, and I'm not going to do that. So, and I'm not sure, I really don't know what certain people's motives are. So I will work with the tribe and see if it's working down the path of getting to the art commission. And if it seems like it's just a stall tactic till I'm done, till I'm done as mayor, then I will work with the tribe, with entities that support the tribe to and leave the pilings on its own. So
I have it.
how that works.
Go ahead. Sorry. I just have a suggestion. Just put it on the agenda that we will discuss this further. And if necessary, we'll just put it on there and we can talk about it if we have to put it out for proposal. Because everybody's got a suggestion for this. So let's just put it on the agenda. Leave it open for everybody who wants to discuss it.
Sounds good. It could be an update at the worst.
Correct, right.
but it seems to me, thank you, Linda, that's a good idea. But it seems to me that we do need to see what this volunteer group wants to present to us. I think somehow they need to be invited to be included in this meeting, or we don't know what we're talking about.
Well, we don't really know what we're talking about. We just have the pylons, and like Lynn's been saying, we don't have a project. So we just put this on the agenda and discuss this further. Whether we have a project, whether we need a request for proposal, we have to, and if it's just like you said, it's a public meeting. If they want to come, they can come. And the mayor says, you know, he's got his own project. So if they don't come, we'll go and take his project, you know? This is just we have to define our project.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll put this on the agenda for July 17th. I will.
14th.
So wait a minute, did you say the 12th first?
I'm sorry, 14th.
14th.
Am I right? July 14th, yes, for our regular meeting. I'm inclined to invite the volunteer group and the tribe to come to this meeting, and if they want to make a presentation to us or share their ideas with us, is that okay with everyone?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Then 1, 2, 3, we still have 4 people. I think we are through for today then.
Can I have one quick question?
Is there any other business?
I know it's not on topic. You know, you were thinking about doing some design in the sidewalk at the boat shop. I know we're going to go to bid we're hoping to go to bid in like 2-3 months or so. Did you iron that out?
Oh, thank you, Kit. We're working with Jeff on that.
Good.
And he's giving us he'll give us the go-ahead when he feels like the project is conceptually firm enough that we can actually put out an RFP.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
So yeah, we're following Jeff's lead on that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And oh, I do have one other thing for the Arts Commission, completely different topic. United by Music, which is one of our Creative Endeavor Grant recipients, that's doing the Make Music Day on summer solstice at Uptown, to which we're all invited. They had given us a specific date in October for another Make Music project, and they are having to change that date. And they're wondering if they're asking us permission to be able to just stage that event sometime in October rather than holding them to a specific date. The project will go on, just that one date that they had tentatively set has gotten some conflicts. So they want to continue, they still want to present their project, their musical project, but they need some flexibility in what day in October that is. And that's fine with me. Anybody else have any comments or
Works for me.
objections?
Yeah,
Fine with me.
Okay,
yeah, that's fine.
okay. Linda?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, good. So that's 4 of us then. Good. I'll let them know that we've agreed that they have flexibility in that. So thank you very much. So then if there's no other business, can there be a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Jennifer. Is there a second?
Second.
And Lynn? All right, we are adjourned.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.